Hey, it's Jeff from the James Freddy's channel. I wanted to use this video on our 67 Penske Camaro recreation project to open up the topic of doing section repairs in sheet metal so that maybe we could all share tips that we've come across in order to get that better middle finish that we're looking for in doing the repairs. I also wanted to take a second right now to say please excuse the welder. I'm getting to the bottom of my roll of wire, and it's, you know, sometimes when you get down there the wire starts to lap over each other and it really messes with the wire speed feed on the repair. So I do some close-up arc shots, which I'm trying to get a lot better at sharing on video, and it's just real agonizing watching it because it's like so hope you guys enjoy the video, and thanks. Give us a thumbs up if you like. Hey, I'm up in the 67 Camaro and I'm doing a section repair to replace where someone had cut out for a single DIN radio, and we're going back to the old post and knob setup. And I thought it'd be a pretty cool time to maybe discuss some of the ideas and philosophies on doing section repairs. So I'm at the point now where I've cut this out of our donor part and I've gone ahead, set it up in here, and cut out the original. Then I've gone through and I've given it a tack to where I get to about every ½ inch. And as you can see here, I like to have gap in my butt welds, but as we start getting in this range, it tightens up. So I'm going to take my cutoff wheel with a 3/32 inch disc and go ahead and open these up a little bit. As I learned from Lazzy Metal Shaping here on YouTube, you want to have a consistent gap here in order to minimize how your metal shrinks. You can also see that I've gone ahead and ground down every single one of my tacks, and that's to help with a couple of things. Number one, when I go to fill these in, because I can get that gap filled up in about 5 or 6 stitch welds, it will help with cold starts, so I don't have some big thick thing that I'm trying to start on. And usually when I do a stitch, I'll start halfway on that and move out a half. I'll start on that, move out a half, that, and continue on until I get a little area done. Another thing that's nice about it is it lets you grind down, and you can see, like right here, the part in the parent metal is a little bit higher than the part in the section that we're replacing, so I can go in here with a hammer and dolly and knock those flat. Another technique that I like to utilize that I've learned from a friend that I've worked with is to utilize a body line. When you're doing a section repair, if you can put a section right on a body line like I did here and on the other side, it really helps to strengthen that butt weld up, and you'll get really nice results doing that. So one of the theories that seems to be working with me is I was always told, don't get it too hot or you'll warp it. You'll warp it. And I always wondered, you know, like, what the hell does warp mean, you know? And I think I probably got to pick this tip up from Lazzy as well, or other places. But warp isn't really a great description of what you're doing, at least in my mind. What's actually happening when you're butt welding two pieces together is when you hit it with that tack and it cools, what you're doing is shrinking the metal. So if you can get back in there and hammer and on dolly those areas back out, it'll really help to stretch the metal back to where it's at. So I use 024 or 023 wire in my welder, and that gap that I was talking about, I really want to get in there with either like a 3/32 inch cutoff wheel, or something I really like using is being able to jab an air saw in there and just cut right between the welds, and it gives you that nice little perfect consistent gap for your butt weld. So I've been working on getting better arc shots for you, and I think I've gotten in decent as far as being able to zoom in on the spot and then also pay attention to where I hold my torch. But the last few times I've done it, they've been blurry, so I just put a new lens and tried to clean up everything. First thing I do whenever I start is clip the end off the wire for a good hot start. And we're gonna start right in here. See if I can do this. Kind of an awkward angle. See, not the greatest, straightest, but for video purposes. And here we are, all welded and ground down. You could see that the welder wasn't really tuned in perfectly, which is funny because if you're gonna make a video welding, why not take the time to get it in? But you know how we are, we usually struggle. When I grind, I usually start with my high spots with 36, then move up to 50, and then as you see it here, we are all in 80 DA. Ready for a coat of epoxy. You can see right there where the weld was a little bit. I could go a little bit further there, but there it is. We've got the radio replaced, so there's a quick section repair. Hope you guys like it. If so, please give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one.